Hello everybody, my name is Matthew and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome back to our series in which we are learning how to read Hebrew. Last time we had a review of our first 5 lessons, and today we are going to pick back up with our 6th lesson. In our 5th lesson we learned the letter chet, and we'll pick back up with something special it can do at the end of a word. Certain letters called gutturals, like chet, can't come right after a vowel that is not an ah vowel when they are at the end of a word. So let's see what happens if a chet ends the word right after an o vowel. For an example, we will use the Hebrew word for thorn. This word starts with a letter chet, which makes the guttural sound, which is followed by a vav with a cholam, which makes the o sound. The word ends with one more chet, which again makes the guttural sound. Now, a chet cannot end a word right before a vowel that is not an ah sound. So we have to find a way to put an ah sound between this o and this. The way we do this is to put a patak under the het that ends the word. This patak actually makes it sound before the chet it is under. This is an exception certain gutturals have to the rule that the letter is pronounced first and then the vowel marker that is on it. So, sounding the entire word out, chet makes the sound, vav with cholam makes the o sound, and chet with a patak under it at the end of a word says ach, choach, which means thorn. Moving on, let's learn the 9th letter of the aleph-bet, which is tet. It's a pretty simple letter. All it does is make the t sound. The word good starts with a letter tet, which says t. The tet is followed by a vav with a cholam, which says o. And the word ends with a bet without dagesh, which says v. O, v, tov, good. And now the 10th letter of the aleph-bet, which is yod. Yod is just a little line, a little bit less than half as long as a vav. Yod can also be written with a little hook on top like this. Yod makes a y consonant sound. It also makes lots of vowel sounds, the most common of which are a, which we will write as ei, and e, which we will write as an I. Today, we are going to learn the y consonant sound and the e vowel sound. And next time, we'll learn all the other sounds the yod can make. The Hebrew word for together starts with a yod, which makes its y consonant sound. Under this yod is a kamatz, which says ah, and after the yod is a chet, which makes the guttural sound. Under the chet is a patak, which says ah, and the word ends with a dalet, which says d. Yachad, yachad, together. You may have noticed that this chet and patak are pronounced cha instead of ach, as we saw before. This is because chet and patak are only pronounced ach when the chet is the last letter of a word, and here it's right in the middle. So, the consonant sound of yod is ya, and yod can also make lots of vowel sounds. One sound it can make is the e sound, and to make this sound, a yod will be accompanied by a vowel called a chirek. Now, yod and chirek work differently than, say, a vav and a shuruk. A shuruk will go on the vav itself to make the vav, say, make the u sound. But what a chirek does is go under a letter, and a yod will come after that letter. So here we have a silent aleph with a chirek under it, followed by a yod. And all this just says e. Usually, when a yod comes after a vowel like a chirek, that yod will go silent and only represent the sound of the vowel. But if a yud has a vowel marker on it, such as a hirik, that means the yud will make its y consonant sound. So if a yud has a vowel marker, it makes its y sound. Okay? We can add another yud at the end of this made-up word to sound it out. We have a silent aleph and a hirik under it, which makes the e sound even though it is not represented by a yud. We have a yud with a vowel marker under it, which means it makes its consonant y sound. Here's a hirik, which says e, and this yud at the end does not have a vowel marker on it, which means that this yud is representing this hirik to say e. One very simple word with a hirik and yud is the word for in me, which is just spelled bait with dagesh, b, hirik, e, and a silent yud after that, so you know to pronounce that e vowel sound. When a vav or a yud are in the middle of a word representing a vowel sound, as in the word dove, it's common to see the word spelt without that letter, especially in Biblical Hebrew and especially with the letter yud. However, if a vav or a yud is representing a vowel sound at the end of a word, as in be, that letter will always be there to let you know that the word ends in a vowel sound. In review, today we learned that a chet and a patak at the end of a word make the sound ach instead of cha. We learned the letter tet, which makes the t sound, and the letter yud, which makes a y consonant sound. If a yud is after a letter which has a hirik, the hirik and the yud make the e sound. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and turning on notifications so you can know when I make a new video. Also, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a like and shared it with your friends who you think would like to learn Hebrew. Goodbye.